G'day, how you going? Now, have you seen those little triangle colourful flags that people hang on their verandas? That's called bunting. Now, the material out in the weather doesn't last that long and they deteriorate pretty quickly. I have seen them made out of plywood and painted in various colours or oiled or stained or something like that. They are quite expensive, but I'm going to show you how to make them for a fraction of the price. They're not really my go, this bunting, but your missus is going to love them. What you need to kick off with, little half sheet of ply. You don't need to buy a full sheet. This is 12mm, pretty cheap as well. Get yourself a tape measure. Decide what size you want your triangles. I'm going 150 at the base of the triangle and 250 or 200 down to the end. So what I've done is I'm going to mark a line here at 200 on the ply. Another one down at this end here like that, 200. Get myself a nice long ruler. Mark that down across your plywood like that, pretty simple. And then come across 150, which is the size of my triangles, and then I'll go to 300 for the next one, then 450, and now my maths is getting pretty ordinary, 600, 750. Perfect. What we've got to do is halve that to create your triangle. And of course, the opposite cut gives you another triangle. So every time you do one triangle, the leftover piece is another triangle. So you end up with a heap of them. And without this sheet, you'll end up with probably about 20 little triangle flags of your bunting, which you can drape through on your verandas and paint them any colour. So I'm going to mark all this out and get going with a cutting. So from the apex of the triangle, I'm marking out 150 to there, and then I'm going to go another 150 along to there, another 150 to there. Of course, you can make your triangles any size you like. I'm just doing them these at 150 by 200. 150 to there, 150 to there. Join all the dots up and you end up with triangles. Right, now that we've marked all the triangles out, we're going to clamp this down to the bench, because whenever you're cutting on a small sheet of ply like this, you really want to clamp it down to make it nice and safe. Going to get a circular saw, run up all these lines like that, then trim them all off. We'll end up with our triangles. Too easy. Okay, all the triangles are marked out. Now we need to cut them. You can use a handsaw, but that's a little bit of hard work. You could use a jigsaw, but I like to use the old circular saw because it's nice and quick. And I've got a few of these, probably about half a dozen. When you're using power tools, make sure you put your safety gear on. It's very important. Eyes and ears. We'll cut them all out. Rightio, all our triangles, I'll get them all up. There they are, absolutely perfect. What we need is a little bit of sandpaper. We'll run through all the cut edges, give them a little bit of a clean up. And then what we're going to do is drill some holes either side to thread our rope that's going to be hanging our bunting up. 2 holes either side, so that way you can go in, back out, around, back in, back out, and it'll flow onto the next triangle. Make sure you choose a jewel bit that's going to suit the size of your rope, and it's not going to be too hard to thread through either. This one here is absolutely perfect. What I'm going to do is mark the holes out to make sure they're nice and even so every triangle matches each other. That's really important. I'm going to come in about probably 10mm from the edge. And 30mm from the edge. You can use this guy as a template, lay it over the top of all the other triangles and drill through all of them. Once you get the first one right, then you're sweet. A little bit of sandpaper on the holes. Bit more cleanup on the edges. Have a look at that, absolutely perfect. You get this bloke here, you thread him through that way, back through there, back through there, and back through there like that. Tighten that bloke up. Have a look at that. Have triangles all the way along, hang it on the veranda, paint them all different colours, which you're going to do in a second, and you got yourself some ply bunting. You'll be the hero of the neighbourhood. Now you take this guy here, use him as a template, lay him on your other triangles so you can drill the holes and they're all perfect. Paint them all different colours or stain them, whatever you want to do. Thread your rope through and bunting's your uncle. Too easy.